Talk Radio.
This is an Awakening Zone presentation, Human Empowerment Radio and Media for the 21st Century and Beyond.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Elizabeth Show, the place where we unveil the keys to being the most extraordinary you. I'm your host, Dr. Elizabeth Lambaer, and I'm so honored and delighted that you are here. If you'd like to redefine and expand your greatest potentiality, you've come to the right place. My intention in creating this show is to provide a platform and an opportunity for people to tune in and discover the keys to living healthy, radiant, youthful, rich, joyous, expansive, fulfilling lives. Doesn't that sound amazing? And truly, this is our birthright, and this is what I wish for all of us. We are ever-expanding beings living in an ever-expanding universe. And it is the premise of my work to show that we literally have the capacity to grow younger, stronger, deeper, richer, wiser, more flexible, more radiant, more beautiful, better in every way imaginable: body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit. This is the place where you can come, bring your questions, and listen to the latest information on a variety of topics, from healing modalities that fly just under the radar to how to manifest more in less time with grace, ease, and fun. Learn more about health and wellness, sexuality and sensuality, spirituality, human potentiality, the dance of the divine feminine and sacred masculine, the quantum physics of beauty, and more. Each week, I will be inviting guest experts to join me in expanding this conversation and sharing their wisdom and insights. We are broadcasting live from beautiful Marina del Rey, California, on the Awakening Zone, the international network for empowered awakening. A huge thanks to Joe Rombolo and Linda and Jeff Hoppy for creating this amazing network. I invite each of you to call in and ask your questions. The call-in number is 714-364-4353, or you can log in to www.awakeningzone.com, the Dr. Elizabeth Show. This is the place for you to get the answers you are seeking. And if you'd like to find out more about me and my work, please feel free to visit www.drelizabeth.com.
So this week, our conversation revolves around several of my Dr. Elizabeth secrets, including following and living your heart's desires, beauty, it's an inside job, and healing modalities that fly just under the radar. And my guests today are perfectly aligned with all of these conversations. I have to tell you guys, I am so, so excited about the show today. I had the idea, and I've been dreaming about doing this show for quite some time. The idea came to me in a meditation. And for me, it's so exciting to see these three women who I have on as my guests, because a lot of times we hear people talking about following your dreams, following your passions, following what it is that your heart desires. And it's one thing to talk about it, but these three extraordinary women who I have on in this Successful Women's panel have actually done it. And the reason that I was so passionate about having them on the show is because to be able to speak to and ask questions to people, especially women, who've actually crossed that bridge from dreaming about having a business to actually doing it is incredible. There is such a wealth of information and wisdom and experience that is right here on this panel. And so I'm very, very excited to have these three women here with us today to talk about what it is that they have done, and even more importantly, how they did it. And what's so powerful about that for each one of my listeners, those of you, there's a lot of you in the chat room already, a lot of you here in the studio, and for those who are going to be listening to the archive, what I feel is so powerful about this is that if they can do it, you can do it too. It's like my very dear friend and teacher, Michael Beckwith, talks about this vortex of energy that is created. And if one person in this vortex of energy has been able to do one of these things, it's possible for all of us. If one person is able to cure themselves of cancer, it's possible. It's in the field. It's in the field of beingness, and it's possible for all of us. If one woman, and here we have three, have been able to step out and courageously say, this is my dream, this is my vision, this is what I want to give to the world, and successfully have accomplished it, I'm telling you, everyone listening to this, anyone who's within earshot of my voice, it's possible for all of you. And this is why I'm so excited about this show, because these three women are modeling what is truly possible for all of us. So let me just, without further ado, I'm going to just do a very brief introduction about each one of them, and then they're going to share their journey, their story with you in more depth. So first, Teresa Garcia transformed her talents as a hairstylist and professional dancer into an incredibly unique business called Sheer Rhythm in Long Beach, California. Sheer Rhythm is a beautiful dance studio located downstairs and a very busy and successful hair salon upstairs in the loft overlooking the dance studio. Teresa has been featured on numerous television shows, including KTLA, assisting brides in being their most radiant and beautiful possible on their special day. To date, Sheer Rhythm is the only business of its kind to successfully combine a hair salon and dance studio. And for more information about Teresa, you can go to www.sheerrhythm, I'm going to spell that, SHEARRHYTHM.com. And I'll give you guys more information as we go on with the show, but we'll be repeating that. So second on the panel is Bliss Young, a loving mother of three and born entrepreneur. She turned her vision to educate and empower families on their options regarding out-of-hospital births into a place called the Sanctuary Birth and Family Wellness Center in Culver City, California. The goal of this innovative center is to transform the way birth is managed and perceived in the United States. Bliss is also launching her own brand called Birthing Bliss that will offer sacred events, business, and personal coaching. Sanctuary is the only center of its kind in the entire country. And for more information on Bliss, you can go to www.birthsanctuary.com, BIRTHSANCTUARY.com. And third on the panel is Rochelle Belleci, left a very successful 15-year corporate career. I want you guys to hear that. For all of you who are in a 9-to-5 job right now, here's a woman on this panel who has actually done it. She went from 9 to 5 into a career that is her own, that is beautiful. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. She left a very successful 15-year corporate career at a very large ad agency in New York and San Francisco and parlayed her deep and passionate love for animals into a company called Doggy Playmates, an exclusive daycare, pet care, dog walking, and pet sitting service. Her beloved business partners are Sadie, her precious border terrier that she rescued from a pound, and Biscuit, a King Charles Cavalier who she adopted from one of her clients. Her deep love for these animals helps make Doggy Playmates a one-of-a-kind, very loving and special pet care boutique business. And her info is www.doggyplaymates.com, DOGGYPLAYMATES.com. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on all three of these beautiful women right now. Please help me in welcoming Teresa Garcia, Bliss Young, and Rochelle Belleci. So welcome, my beauties. Welcome to the Successful Women's Panel. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful. I'm very sincere when I say that. I get excited about all my shows, and saying that, that being said, I'm tremendously excited because I caught this as a vision in my meditation, and it just felt so important to me to have you guys on to tell your story because, I coach a lot of people, and day in, day out, I hear people give me reasons, a litany of reasons of why they can't do exactly what it is that you guys are doing. So to have you here is just really an honor and a delight. So thank you so much for taking time from your very busy businesses to share with us today.
You're welcome. Thanks, Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. Of course, of course. So the first question I want to ask you guys is, and this is really the question on everybody's mind, and how is it that you guys started your business? And let's go ahead and start with Teresa. Teresa, if you will share with us, did you catch a vision for your business? What is it that inspired you to start Sheer Rhythm, and what was the very first step you took in creating this?
Thanks for having me, Elizabeth. It's great to be on this show. I know we've been trying to hook up and do this for a while. For Sheer Rhythm, it was something that I had thought about maybe about at least 7 or 8 years before I even moved on it. I wasn't ready in my life, but I knew that it was something that I had to do. I was not going to stop doing hair and let go of the clients because that brings me joy and pleasure. And I also wasn't going to stop professionally dancing, ballroom and Latin dance and salsa, because that also brought my soul pleasure. So I knew that there was a way, there's a will, there's a way, that I could combine the two. And being a hairstylist for many years, renting space for a dance studio could get pretty expensive. And I knew that if I can find something, a space that was just small enough for me, it was perfect, that I eventually, when the money was there, the idea was there, when it all set into alignment, and I knew I was going to do it. I didn't know when, but I just knew. And I also did my research and tried to find if there was anything similar to what I had in mind, something that I can maybe model off of. But there was nothing. And speaking my idea to some people, because it didn't exist, some people just thought, well, if it doesn't exist, Teresa, it's not going to work. And I never let that discourage me, because I've always been taught to ask people who have things that you want, who have dreams that they've created, who have businesses that they own, to ask them their idea. And with fear and without doubt or without worry, they always tell me to keep my dream alive and to eventually do it. So yeah, the first step was talking about it. When I was really serious and I was ready, I just started talking to people that had what I had, if not more than what I had, and I just started talking about it. Before I knew it, somebody said they knew of a space. Before I knew it, somebody said they had a contractor. And it just kind of went from there, and it opened up within 4 months. Wow! So it blew my mind too, because it moved really quickly, So it was exciting 4 months. I think within 2 months they told me to go pick out colors to paint the walls, and I didn't even know. I didn't even know what color scheme. I had no idea. I didn't even know. So it really took me by storm. But I've also learned too that when it's meant to be, it will be super easy to actually happen. And it was so easy. So I knew it was just, the first step to success, that we were going to be just fine.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you, first of all, for sharing that. You model some extraordinary spiritual principle. The first is how you held, and I want to really acknowledge you for this, and I want everybody listening to really listen and pay attention to this. You held that vision in your heart, and no matter what some of the naysayers said, you did not let that dissuade you from where you were going and what you were doing, because you trusted that instinct in your heart that was guiding you to do this. So no matter what the logical mind, a lot of people will operate from what I call the third dimensional linear mind, which is if it's not there already, then forget it. It's like this, they don't have that creativity and imagination, and you didn't allow that to put your vision aside at all. So I really want to acknowledge you. You model a lot of the principles, but that one right there is really powerful how you did them. And I want people to hear that, because you will come across, some challenges and some people who tell you that what's not possible instead of what is possible. Right. And so for you to be able to hold that, I want to really acknowledge you, and the demonstration of when you held that vision, what happened for you is that it opened up like Joseph Campbell says, the doors opened where there would have only been walls for anybody else because it was yours to do. It's like, who else is, such a proficient hairstylist and dance person. One of the things I love to talk about, I call it the mosaic of life. And each of us come in with our divine, magnificent, unique combination of gifts and talents to share. And if we don't share them, it's like that beautiful Martha Graham quote that's lost for all of eternity. And I like to call that the mosaic of life. Each one of us is this beautiful, beautiful crystal, and each is a different color, sharing our unique gifts and talents for the world. And if we don't share that, the mosaic of life is not complete. And so by you saying, yes, I will absolutely share that, you were putting your mosaic, you were putting your crystal in right in the mosaic of life and saying yes.
Absolutely.
And in doing so, it's a powerful blessing to everyone I've been to your studio, it's gorgeous, and everybody who gets to come there is beautiful. So thank you so much for sharing that. That was beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna go next to Rochelle. I would love to hear from you, Rochelle. What? Because I know you guys. And what's really beautiful about the three of you, you each come from a different place. Like Rochelle comes from corporate, and as opposed to Teresa has been, doing hair and dancing, since she was a little kid. So they're, and Bliss comes from a different place as well. So each one of you guys are coming from a different place, which is beautiful modeling for everybody listening. So no matter where you come from, be it a regular 9-to-5 job or corporate or wherever, there's a place for you to go on your own if you really want to. So I know you come from corporate, so I'd love to hear how you caught this vision for Doggy Playmates and how you made your first step.
I decided that I wanted to be out of corporate and out of New York City, and after 9/11 occurred, kind of changed my whole outlook on life. I was completely happy in the corporate America at the time.
Oh.
And so that kind of really brought everything home of what am I doing here? Working for other people. And, then I decided I wanted to just make myself happy and do something that was truly my passion. So I left New York. I wanted to live on the beach, so I moved to L.A., and a vision just came to me. One day I was visiting my father who lives in Carmel and has dogs and who had dogs on the beach every day. I was visiting him, and before I had been working in L.A. and just observing his life going, gosh, I want this life. How do I get this life? And it just came to me, become a dog walker, pet sitter, and I could do the same exact thing he does. And so, it pretty much came about exactly the way Teresa said it, and I was a little skeptical even to come on the show because I wasn't sure how to describe that. But I just put it out there and started talking to people and telling people what I wanted to do. And the next thing I knew, I had old friends from New York that were designing my logos. I had art directors in advertising designing logos for me, coming up with names for me, had someone else design a website for me. Just everything fell into place when I decided what I wanted to do. And as soon as the website was up, I started advertising on Google, and it just took off. It just, it was meant to be. So as soon as you see it and you just put it out there to the universe, and it just falls into place. Just methodically fell into place.
I love that. I love when that happens.
Oh my gosh, and
that's so great.
And that was so beautiful. That was so beautiful, that story. And what I really want to share with people about Rochelle's story is that you model, again, like Teresa and like Bliss, you model a lot of the spiritual principles. And one of the most powerful things I heard you say is that you caught a vision when you were at the beach at your father's house. And actually, as you were saying that, I literally could see it with my third eye. I saw that.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure my listeners, I know you guys are powerful. I know you are. I'm sure Teresa and Bliss saw it too. You can see it as she's speaking. It's like it resonates in the cells of our body. And the reason I say that to everybody listening is because that's how it occurs. It doesn't come from the logical mind. It's not like the mind goes, oh, that's a good idea, I should do that.
Right, not at all,
it's
right.
Like, literally the whole body will start to resonate. It's as if all of you guys couldn't help but do it because every cell of your body was saying, go, leap, go, you have to do this.
Right.
And it's so beautiful, like Teresa and her business and Bliss and her business. I have the great privilege of living in the same building as Rochelle, and that's how I got to invite. I know each one of these women, personally, and I was like, when I saw her walking, I was like, oh my God, she's the embodiment of my message. Here she is, and it's not like she's just walking these dogs or caring for these dogs. She has this beautiful sanctuary with the Buddha and Balinese furniture downstairs, and this is where these doggies play all day. They're in like Buddha heaven here. It's like beautiful with a little water fountain and flowers. And and I watch her walking the doggies, and they're all so happy. And I lean over the balcony and say, "Hey guys, what's going on?" They all say hi to me, and that's what it's meant to be. I mean, I love that. I love that vision. I love that whole thing. It's like, and what I love about that is that not only did you trust it. Once you left New York, you didn't just say, because a lot of people will say, I'm going to do something, but they do it, pardon my French, they do it half-assed. It's like they don't quite trust it. It's either, you don't put your big toe in the water. You're either going to dive into the ocean or stay on the sand, but you don't go halfway in. It's the same. You really dove, and when you dove in, what happened was it literally just opened up for you. And so what I would want people to hear from that and take away from that is, when you catch a vision like that, allow yourself to be open. Because people will say, well, how did we do it? And as you can see from these women speaking, it was completely effortless. However, they did the spiritual practices that led up to it. Like you guys opened yourselves up to it energetically so that the miracles
I think it's really just knowing and becoming submissive to that passion or that dream. And once you become submissive to it and you just allow yourself the small steps to take, it just happens, and then you have so much energy. You can't. Yes. You have to go through with it. You have to go through with it.
It's almost like a waterfall.
It's so exciting. There's nothing like it.
I love that.
But once you become submissive to that, you have to just allow yourself to let go and know that this is what you need to do. Rather it's making a lot of money or rather it's just paying the bills. As long as you do what it is that your passion is, that's all you need. You live within your means, and then that's it. But like you said, when the advertising takes place, all of a sudden you're in another field. It's great. It's so great, and it's doable for anybody, for any passion. If they perfect their passion and they continue to market, you can sell it.
Well, both of you guys, these are not, this is the other reason I wanted to have you guys on the show, because these are not, you didn't go off to be an accountant and a lawyer. These are very unusual businesses. It's the same with Bliss. I'm going to bring Bliss on in a minute, too. It's the same thing with Bliss. These are very unusual, unique businesses that are of great service to people. One of the things I talk with Teresa about a lot is who would think to put together a hair salon with a dance studio? People look at you sideways when you say that. However, for you, it works because it's who you are.
You just use a lot of soundboard walls. That's it. It blocks everything.
Well, listen, I'm going to bring Bliss on now because I apologize, Bliss was having a little bit of technical difficulty. So let me go ahead. Thank you, Rochelle, for sharing that, and thank you, Teresa, for sharing that. It's beautiful. And so now, Bliss, I want to ask you the same question because, and I know the stories are all going to sound very similar. How is it that you caught your vision, and then what was the first step you took?
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for having me on. I'm moved and inspired by listening to the other women's stories and, really thinking back on that moment because honestly, what's at the heart of what I do is supporting people in manifesting their dreams. So it's just who I am. It's what I'm committed to. So I'm just honored to have this opportunity to share what I've done. And the intention behind it was always to make room for other people to do the same thing. So I'm in my groove right now as we speak, and it's exhilarating. So I'm a mother of 3, and I was in a relationship that was just not working and was not healthy. And so I had decided to also leave corporate America and stay at home with my babies, and then in deciding that I needed to leave this relationship to be healthy myself and to really take care of my children, I started to look at what is it that I love? What is it that I'm passionate about? And I got to this supporting other people in manifesting their dreams, and I was like, well, then I need to go out and manifest one of my own dreams. And I had always, for 20 years, I had been passionate about birthing outside of the hospital. I had witnessed my sister do that, and was very committed to bringing a birth center to Los Angeles because the birth center that I had delivered at had closed several years before. And I couldn't believe that in Los Angeles we didn't have a place for women to have this as an option. So I really looked at what I wanted to do, and I decided to team up with one of the midwives that I had worked with and to bring this to reality. And the same as Teresa, I really looked at what is optimal, what is ideal, what is really big vision dreaming, and nothing was out there like what we've created. And I didn't let that stop me. I just decided that we would move forward. And I think the biggest first step is opening your mouth and starting to talk to people about what it is that you're doing and having the courage to say, I know there's nothing out there like this, and I know I have no experience in this, and I know that there's a lot of people who doubt what it is that we're saying we're going to do, and then taking one step at a time. And there was definitely that alignment that the other ladies talked about where it was we started getting clients and we started growing slowly but surely. But for us, we've had a lot of barriers because our vision was so big. I mean, transforming the way that birth is managed in America is a huge, huge vision. And, so we have hit a lot of walls. And we've had times when, I wasn't sure if we were going to make it. And we continued to hold the vision and say, we believe in this. And it does keep you up at night. It does keep you motivated when you have a passion that you really believe in. And I think that you spoke to it too, Elizabeth. I really, too, believe that we're all here on this planet to give our gifts. And you have to find what that is, what's unique to you. And when you get into it, when you're in the groove with it, you know it and you feel it and you can't stop. You just have to keep giving your gifts, whether or not you make money. Even, I think one of the other ladies said, whether you pay your bills or whether you make a lot of money. I encourage people, even if you're not, even if it's not your living, you love to play guitar, like, do it, even if you're keeping your corporate job, just keep doing that. And then things do open up. Things do unfold. And it's been a miraculous journey, and it continues to grow and unfold, and I continue to grow and unfold. And I think that that's the thing that's been so beautiful for me is watching who I had to become at each new level, who I had to expand to take it to the next step. So,
Thank you, Bliss. Thank you. Well, again, all three of you guys model such powerful spiritual principle, and of course, because you can't make a step like this and not model spiritual principle, because you have to call upon everything you are and then some to make a leap like this. And so one of the things I was hearing from you, many things, one was service, which we are going to talk about next. That's going to be my next question. And what I want to acknowledge you for, Bliss, a couple of things. And one is that you left what was safe. And I know, Rochelle, in the way you did that, and Tracy, in the way you did that too. And you really, Bliss, you left what was safe. And that's a huge thing, because it's like Carolyn Mace. I heard Carolyn Mace and another woman speaking one time about this, that that it's that old paradigm that we were raised in, that, in those old paradigm societies, we think that, quote-unquote, marriage is safe, or we think that corporate world is safe. These old paradigms, which are now very much falling away. When I say marriage, I mean in the sense of a relationship that's not working. A lot of people would have stayed because it was, quote-unquote, safe, and I want to really acknowledge you and really have people hear that you left what was not safe, and the universe supported you in that in a powerful way. One of the other things I want to really acknowledge you for, Bliss, is because your business is different from the other two women's businesses in this way, which is why you do come up against the things you do come up with. Hospitals, I mean, I'm a doctor, I know this. hospitals and pharmaceutical companies are huge old paradigms that are now, they are falling away. And I'm not saying there's sometimes, if a person needs open heart surgery or different things, I'm not saying hospitals are bad, but what I am saying is that there is no paradigm, an old way of doing things. And when somebody comes in and says there's a more natural, a safer, and a better way to do things, and it's going to push up against something that is a paradigm, I call it the old male paradigm, not necessarily male in a masculine sense, but male in what is old. It's like we see with the government, old male paradigm governments that are fighting, going to war with each other. You blow up my buildings, I blow up your buildings back. It's like that old paradigm, and that's what's falling away. That's what 2012 is all about, is what doesn't work is falling away. So I want to acknowledge you, because you really are David and Goliath in a large way, that you are really coming up against some big old male paradigm energy, and you're doing a wonderful job of it and offering something that's really extraordinary to women. So I want to acknowledge you for that as well, because that's a big part of, your path and your purposes, and you have the strength to do that. And so I really send you love for that. And one of the things I love to share with my audience is that this is a powerful container. Not only is my audience benefiting you, 3 women coming on here, because this show reaches around the world. I have listeners in South America and Asia and all through Europe and all over the world. We encircle the entire globe with this program. And so we're all coming together in this beautiful vortex of energy. So I ask my audience to put their intentions of what it is they want to create into this powerful vortex and watch it become manifest, because we all hold it for each other. So as you gift us with your wisdom and your experience and your knowledge and your miracles that have happened for you in starting these businesses, we're holding a space for you. So I invite you to put in what it is that's your next steps. What is it that you're wanting to manifest? What is it that you're going to put into this container? And the whole world, every listener on the Awakening Zone and every listener on the Dr. Elizabeth Show will hold that powerfully for you. So it's like what I call the new paradigm of collaboration. It's a win-win. You come on the show and share with us, and we come on the show, and we come back and match you and meet you by asking you to put your intentions of your next steps into this global vortex and hold that vision for you. So
beautiful.
So I invite you guys to do that, really, because business is like everything else in life. It's a flow of a give and a receive. You guys are giving a lot, and so there's a receiving that must flow in the energy exchange with it. So thank you, Bliss, for sharing that. That was beautiful. And one of the other things I heard all the women say, which is really powerful, is you all opened up your mouths and you spoke. And even when somebody had something to say that, was not what you really, wasn't encouraging of what you were doing, you still held the vision and you opened up your mouth. And with that, in transparency and authenticity of what it is you're wanting to create. And I want the audience to hear that, because when we begin to speak it, we begin to land it from the ethereal plane through our bodies, through our 7 chakras and down our grounding cords into this material plane. So that's this is one of the tools that I encourage people to do as they come up with their businesses, is to speak it powerfully. And the other thing that I heard from each one of you is this idea that you couldn't help but do it. This wasn't a decision you made with your mind as, this is something I should do because it will make me a lot of money, or this is something I should do because it's a smart decision. These were passionate decisions made because your entire life, each one of you, Rochelle with her, I see her with for these animals, and I have to have you share the story of how you got Sadie, because it's so sweet. It's just so beautiful. I know it's your entire beingness is these beautiful animals, and so is Bliss and your children. I see you as a mother, and that's how you endow your business. You can't help but be that. And I see, same with you, Teresa, as your passions are your hairstyling and dancing. It exudes from your being. And so, because a lot of times what I hear from people is that I don't know what my passion is. You guys are blessed, and I'm blessed because we know, but I hear people all the time say they don't know. So what I invite, if someone is asking that right now, I invite them to go on an adventure to discover. The reason Teresa discovered that is because she went out dancing. She said, oh, dancing, that looks like fun. It wasn't like something forced on you. You said, oh, that looks like fun. Bliss said, wow, I'm a mother. I need to have a baby. And she went on and had 3 beautiful babies because her beingness couldn't help but be a mother. And same thing with Rochelle and the doggies. You guys couldn't help but be what you're being. So I invite people listening is to be the beingness that you are and share the gifts that you are. And out of that will come what it is that you're meant, that you're meant to share and meant to do. So I always encourage.
I was going to say I always encourage my young clients that come in after doing hair for 16 years. I always encourage them. I always ask, what is it you would like to do? What are your hobbies? What's your passion? And as time goes by, more and more, the young women aren't being pushed to try to discover, aren't taking up enough different activities to learn what it is that they really truly are skilled at, or can really truly what they can do. And it's tough to talk to the young ladies, and I say that too. It's time that you go discover what it is that you truly are passionate about, because that's what's going to take you. That's what's going to take you, into your dream, livelihood, and I try to always encourage my young girls to find that passion, that dream, and they say, how did you do it? I found it. Right. Talking to you. This is why I would never give up hair, because I get to sit here and talk to you, and learning that wisdom through my clients, because they're the ones that taught me so much as my clients, think that the counseling is just for them. Yeah, it's a lot for me. I become wise at a young age because I listen to these stories, and I repeat some of them that are successful, and I don't repeat those that I found aren't too good. So, so I learn, and it's right. It's anybody who's listening, discover that passion, or don't just do it once a week. Maybe they can take it on even more. Maybe they can invest a little bit more money in it, and I know it fills up their heart when they're doing it. That's what happens.
Oh, I love that. And I also thought about each one of you, and I wanted to tell the listeners this because they've seen your pictures, but they've not seen you in person. One of the other tips, because I speak a lot about health and wellness and vitality and youthfulness, is that each one of you are gorgeous. You're radiantly gorgeous, of course, outside, but gorgeous from the inside out. And I know that has a lot to do with, the benefits of doing what you love.
And so I just independent. We don't have anybody knocking on our back, and we don't have a fear that we're going to get fired. Nobody's keeping you down. You don't have a fear of being fired or anything. We walk on water here. It's great. Yeah.
Well, I want to do this next because Bliss brought up a very powerful point, and I know I can. A lot of times I can clairvoyantly hear my audience, so I can hear them saying, "Okay, this all sounds great, everybody." But what happens when you come up against a challenge? So I think I'd like to ask each one of you, because you've had these businesses for several years. So I would like to know what each one of you did, and whoever wishes to answer this question first, feel free to. What each one of you did. How did you handle the challenges that you came up against, and what did you do to transcend them? Whoever would like to answer that first.
I can.
I'll start. Okay.
No, go ahead. Who said Bliss? Is that you?
Yeah.
It's just really simple. I had to learn to delegate. I learned that I was great at doing hair, great at dancing. I can run the salon. It was great. But I had to feel like I had to do everything myself, which means, I got to be the cleaner. I got to be the accountant. I got to be the inventory counter, and I have to do hair. I have to mop. I have to sweep. I have to do the window. I felt like I had to do everything, and it was taking me away from what I really needed to do, which was to do hair, bring in clients, do dance, bring in the teachers, and so I remember my brother actually sat me down and said, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing everything. I'm tired. I'm burnt out. I'm going to bed. It's 8 o'clock. I'm going to bed. And he was like, no. You're great at dancing. You're great at hair. Do it. Find people that can do the accounting. Find somebody behind the desk. I didn't even have a receptionist. I was a receptionist, so I think that was my challenge. I needed to let go of my baby just a little bit. I needed to let go of my baby.
Teresa? I remember when you were going through this. Remember you talked to me about it. I remember when you were doing this. I remember that. And you know what I also noticed? I did, and you know what I noticed about that is that once you did that, your business expanded powerfully.
Yes, of course.
Of course,
because it was keeping me from doing what I really had to do, and as opposed to cleaning and mopping and sweeping. That was totally taking my time away from what I needed to do. When I finally did hair, I was tired. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to blow dry hair. I was done. I was tired. I was on my knees cleaning. Delegating, I think, was one thing, and that means to let go a little and allow people to come in and help you just that much more. And that was my first challenge.
Thank you. Okay, so Blitz, tell me for you, what was yours and how did you transcend it?
Well, there's been many, and the one that Teresa pointed out is a really good one, and taking that leap of faith and saying, I don't know where the money's going to come from, but I need this person, and I have faith that with my ability to focus on what I need to focus on, I can expand my company. So it really is a great lesson to give to people. I feel like my biggest challenge, though, was there was a time in my company about halfway through that I was having a major integrity issue, and I had a partner that I felt was not holding true to what we were committed to, and it became very difficult for me to go out and ask for investors and speak about what we were building when I felt like it was being built on something that was unstable. And it was one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make, to go to my partner and say, this isn't working. You either have to leave or I have to leave. And she was my mentor. She was my friend. And it was very, very challenging. But the integrity of what it was we were building and what I was standing for my clients and for our vision, I just knew that the reason we weren't growing at the rate that we wanted to was because we were not aligned with what we said we were doing. And once we moved through that, it was very challenging, very emotional, lots of money issues, breakdowns. My existing partner and I didn't get paid for 4 months. And it was day to day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay payroll and rent, and I just kept going one step at a time and talking to advisors, like, how do you do this? They're like, you just keep the doors open until you can't keep the doors open anymore. And once we moved past that, we skyrocketed, and we met goals that we had been striving to try and meet, and within 6 months we had surpassed. And last year we made over $1 million. And so, just really staying true to what your integrity is, what your vision is, and not selling out on that and being true to your word, really I saw how it affected the business so profoundly. So.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. Well, I got to tell you, when you spoke about it, I got goosebumps, angel bumps all over my whole body. I was like, oh, my gosh, it resonated so true through my whole beingness. And I love that. And what I was hearing as you were speaking, what I was hearing was standing for yourself. You stood for everything, and first and foremost, you stood for yourself. And I'm knowing that with myself right now, with many things in my life, I'm having the opportunity to do that. And when we do that, especially as women, I intentionally made this a woman's panel, not a successful person's or entrepreneur's panel. I wanted to make this a successful woman's panel because so many women are wanting to go out on their own. And one of the issues that a lot of women face is standing for themselves and for what they know to be right. So for you to share this bliss is so amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Just the courage that it took for you to do that. I heard courage. I heard standing for yourself. I heard bravery. All of that you modeled. So thank you. That was amazing.
Yeah, and before we end on the female entrepreneur note, I hope that I get a chance to say something specifically about that once we're.
You want to say it right now? Go ahead.
Okay. I just feel like, since you brought that up specifically about us all being women, I feel like, and, especially, Teresa, I think you were the one who left the corporate world, there's this masculine energy sometimes that you feel like is needed in order to be in business, or you hear that whole thing like it's just business, and I have watched myself go back and forth between doing what seems like the typical model of business and what feels right as a woman. And we have, we've really stood for a new paradigm in business, and we do things like at our staff meetings, we do a circle with women, and we pass the talking stick, and everybody checks in about what's going on in their life. And there's lots of things that we do, like job sharing and those kinds of things it's more feminine to like nurture the people that work for us. And it's just interesting. It's interesting how women do business. That could be a whole other topic, how women do business in opposed to how men do business, and how the time has come. Consumers are clamoring for it. They want something different. They want things to come from the heart and to be from the soul. And,
can I tell you something, Bliss? Thank you, first of all, for sharing that. And second of all, not only do women want that, I got news for you, men want it too, because there is something emerging I call the dance to divine feminine and sacred masculine. And instead of that old male paradigm, which is dying in corporations, that's not talking man or woman, that's talking an old male paradigm of push, shove, trying to get it done from a linear, third-dimensional place. It's this incorporation of what I call the dance to divine feminine and sacred masculine, and both men and women are hungry and longing for it, and it's incorporating the feminine and all of the rich qualities of intuition and heart space and love with all those sacred masculine qualities of action and doing things, but the masculine must be in service to the feminine. And when the sacred masculine can be in service to the divine feminine, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman doing business, we have what Michael Beckwith calls the brand new birthing of a brand new paradigm of way of doing business, which is all about service. And I can actually, it's interesting, I'm so appreciative that you brought that up, Liz, and I can see it's already quarter till. So what I'm going to extend an invitation to these three beautiful women is I would like to continue this conversation probably like in a month from now when you guys can free up your schedules, and we're going to actually continue this conversation because it's so powerful and so important for men and women to hear this and see this modeling of new ways of business and doing things. So, yes, Bliss, we have a lot more to talk about than we have 14 more minutes for. And thank you for bringing that up. And yes, we're definitely, if you guys are a yes, I would love to have you back on this platform so we can continue this conversation.
Absolutely.
Wow. So now, Bliss, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for bringing that up. I really appreciate it. And I want to hear from Rochelle. For you, what was the biggest challenge that you faced, and how did you transcend that?
I think the biggest challenge was learning how to say no to people, not letting them take advantage.
Yes.
They could see that I was hungry for the business, and they would try to take advantage in some sort of way. And once I learned how to finally put my foot down and say no, this is my business, and this is how I run things. It was a huge weight that was lifted off of my head, and it kind of put everybody in line, so they don't do that to me anymore.
Wow.
And if there were clients that I'd lost because of it, better ones came my way and were replaced.
Yes.
So just getting rid of all the negativity and it was always replaced by better doggies, better clients, better owners. And so now I have a really great group just by learning to say no.
You do. True. I know you do. I can see that. I love that you shared that. Is there anything else you want to speak about challenges? Because I can feel that both Bliss and Teresa want to say something about that. So is there anything else that you would like to share about that?
I think that's a great, absolutely another brilliant point for people who are thinking about creating their own business, because it is yours, and it is an expression of your heart and your desire, and you're spending your time and energy doing it. So I think that's a brilliant point, because once you say this is how things go, this is what I'm standing for, this is what I'm creating, then the people who are aligned with those things will gravitate towards you, and the people who are not will go away. And there's just more joy and expression and exchange of energy present when you do that. And it just makes everything just not only happier and more joyful, but also, more money comes your way through that as well. So I think that's a great point.
Right. Absolutely, yes. Oh, this is so beautiful. So what I want to do now, we're going to just put this on hold for just a second, because one of the things I want to share with everybody is that this is as you can see, this is an extraordinary network called the Awakening Zone Network. And first of all, I want to acknowledge everybody, because we have listeners who tune in from all over the world, not only to the show, the Dr. Elizabeth Show, but the entire network. And you guys have choices. You guys could be listening to, like a lot of people, most of the world are tuning into constantly negative news, better known as CNN, and but you guys are tuning into this. So first of all, thank you. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your choice, your conscious choice. And I want to let people know it's a wonderful network. We have extraordinary programs, and so I'm just going to let people know of a couple of them coming up. All these are Central Time. And so Breath of Life with Norma Delaney and Garrett Anofsky is on 7 p.m. this evening. Particles is at 8:30 p.m. with Dr. Meg Blackburn-Lucy. And then tomorrow at noon is Animal Code with Asia Voice, who actually was a guest on my show, wonderful pet communicator and animal whisperer, really extraordinary. So I invite everybody, these are all Central Times, to tune in. And one of the other things I'd like to extend an invitation to is I am co-hosting with a wonderful numerologist named Julian Michael an event called Treasure Mapping Your Life, How to Manifest Your Dreams and Visions into Reality, this coming Saturday. So if you guys would like to join that, it's going to be wonderful. Please feel free to email me at speaker@drelizabeth.com, and I'd be happy to answer your questions. We would love to have you join us. It's going to be a really, really fun and creative event, combining the right and brain activities to really manifest what it is you most want in life. So before we get going here, I want to let people again know, because I've been speaking to these 3 extraordinary women who have phenomenally creative and wonderful and compelling businesses that make a powerful difference in the world. So let me just tell you each of them and how you can get a hold of them. Teresa Garcia has Sheer Rhythm. It's a beautiful studio as well as a hair salon. You can reach her at www.sheerrhythm.com, SHEARRYTHM.com. Phone number 562-421-6014, and you can email her at info@sheerrhythm.com. Bliss has a beautiful birthing sanctuary. You can reach her and also her Birthing Bliss brand new brand that's coming out. And so you can reach her at www.birthsanctuary.com, BIRTHSANCTUARY.com, info@birthsanctuary.com. And may I give the number, the 556 number? Is that okay?
Yep, that's the office number.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. 310-566-7690. Conscious birthing and everything around conscious birthing. And then Rochelle Belleci has beautiful doggy playmates, and I can tell you, I can attest from all 3 of these women because I know them well and I've seen them do their business. They're very brilliantly contributory in what it is that they do. So I highly welcome you to reach out to them for their services. She has doggy playmates, www.doggplaymates.com. Phone number. May I give the phone number?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, 310-437-9092, and then info@doggplaymates.com. So I invite you guys, please reach out to them. They have wonderful services. They're here in L.A., so if you're here in L.A., please take advantage of their beautiful, beautiful creations. So let's do this. We only have about 7 minutes left. So first, is there anything of the topics we discussed, since I'm having you guys back, and because I have lots of questions to ask you, and I know you have lots more to say, with regard to the things we've been talking about in a couple of minutes, is there anything that each one of you would like to share before we end today, for the show for today?
I just wanted to say to all of your listeners and such, I think one of the things that, speaking of, following your dream and your passion and creating something that you can do to make a little bit of money or a lot of money. And I think one of the things that helped me was just always listening to my soul and to my spirit, and not ever fearing or doubting what it is that my alignment has asked me to do. I merely did what my body and my soul and my heart asked me to do, and without fear and without doubt, and surrounding myself around those that were going to guide me, help me, support me, all of my family, friends, and all of my clients that said yes. Everybody that said around me, yes, we will help you. Yes, we will follow you into your new space. Yes, we will come into your studio. Yes, we will help you paint. Yes, we will help you do whatever it is that you need. And surrounding yourself with those clients, and like was mentioned before, if some clients bring in an energy that is not fitting, you let it go. You just have to just let it go. So just surrounding yourself with people that say yes and that are there for you, and possibly not really having that inner ear for those that have negative feedbacks towards anybody's passion, whether it's small or big. And that's what got me to where I am now, and it's going to guide me into something even grander in the future.
And what I loved about what you said is what I was hearing as you were saying is you surrounded yourself with people who said yes, and the first person that said yes was you. You said yes. So, of course, everyone else around you who loves you, who's a bright light, must say yes, because they're only responding to your own yes to yourself. Yes. So
if
thank you.
Said no, I looked at them really silly, and I said, oh, no. You can't be hanging around here. Oh, no.
Exactly. No, it's not possible.
Oh, no. You got to keep that away from me.
You got to back it up.
Oh, no. If you're not saying yes, go somewhere else.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, Teresa. Okay, so how about you? What is it in a couple of minutes? Because I'm having you guys back, so we'll have another platform to do much more. But just in the last couple of minutes that we have.
Yeah, I think for what I would add at the end is just to believe that anything is possible. I think that's one of the things that has really gotten me through. And I devour books on entrepreneurs and business. And the common thread that I've noticed about these people is that they believe, like you said, caught a vision. They believed something was possible. They said, I believe that this is possible. They didn't have to have reasons supporting why. Just believe it. And then keep moving in that direction. No matter what you see, you just keep going. And then, I could have closed down my business when that whole thing happened and believed, it's not meant to be. But if you just keep going and keep going and keep going, it will arise. It will show up. The results will support what it is that you believe. So anything is possible if you believe.
Yes. And what I was hearing while you were speaking, which is very powerful for people to catch, is that you guys didn't just catch the vision. You did continue to do the work. When you say you devour everything on entrepreneurship, I believe you. I could see you doing it. And really, and I know all three of you do. I know all three of you are constantly doing different things to expand your business because you love it and you want to do that. There's an interest in it. And so it's not just someone hanging out a shingle and saying, oh, here I go, I got a vision, let me put the thing out, and then never doing a damn thing. It's like each one of you is constantly, working on it and growing it and expanding it. It's like a lover that you woo. You're wooing this lover, which is your business of you and your soul and your heart and your purpose. And so, but thank you for
great analogy.
We'll talk more.
I love that.
Thank you. And it's beautiful. What I love about what you said, and we're going to talk more about that, that's part of the sacred masculine and the divine feminine. It's the sacred masculine that comes in and listens to those tapes, but not from a place of the old school, old paradigm of hard work, I got to listen to these tapes. I bet you can't wait to listen to these tapes. I bet you can't wait. It's like for me, I love what I do with Dr. Elizabeth so much. My car, if you go into my car right now, each one of the 6 CDs is filled with inspiring teachers, someone teaching something new about raw food, someone teaching something new about expanding the infinite possibilities for your life. I can't get enough of it. I don't have a TV because all I do is I devour this because it's my beingness, and I know that it's the same with you guys. And it's a pleasure to do so. And so thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And so, my beautiful Rochelle, what would you like to share?
I agree with the other two women exactly. Just believe that it can happen, because it can. It just, if you believe it, it will come. Simple as that.
I love that. And all three of you guys are brilliant examples. And one of the things, we're going to talk more about this next time, but one of the things I want to mention to the audience is that all three of these women started their business in a quote-unquote downturned economy. And as Bliss shared with us, their business surpassed $1 million this year. So it is possible. It's absolutely possible. It's not about the external circumstances. It's about what you're going to do with what you have to share. So I want everybody to really, as we leave on this note, I want everybody to take all of this information with them. Oh, my goodness, this was delicious. You know what's so funny? I knew it would be. I couldn't wait for this show because I knew it would be amazing. And can I tell you, it exceeded as excited as I was about this, and I was so excited about it, it really exceeded my wildest expectations. So
it was
fun. Yummy conversation.
Yeah, it was really delicious, and I can't wait to do more. I think it really was. It was really yummy, and I'm so delighted that you guys took the time to be here. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to reach out to each one of you, and we're going to pick a time, within a month or so to come back and continue this conversation, because I believe that it's very important. So I want to share with everybody before we leave. I'm having an extraordinary guest. You guys may actually know him, Tim the Spirit, who is a powerful story. Went from a life of homelessness, abuse, incarceration, to being one of the top spiritual teachers and leaders of our time. Powerful, conscious musician and rapper, as well as an author. Wrote a very powerful book and created a thing called International Baby Picture Day, reminding people to view each other from the innocence and beauty that we truly are. So he's my guest next week. I welcome everybody to tune in. It's going to be, as always, a rich and juicy conversation. And I just, I want to thank you. Thank you so much, Teresa and Rochelle and Bliss, for taking the time to come here today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Sweet. So
thank
sweet.
you.
And I will have you guys back very soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Much love to you.
Much love.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
You have been listening to an Awakening Zone presentation, Human Empowerment Radio and Media for the 21st Century and Beyond.